Hey INFPs, in today's video we're talking about how you can develop and improve your emotional intelligence as an INFP. And in this video I'm going to show you why your emotions are a superpower and why actually having emotions is a great thing and something you can feel very happy about. Okay, so I think a lot of INFPs have had experience where their emotions were working against them, right? So like you knew logically that something was a good thing to do, but you couldn't emotionally convince yourself to do it, right? So why does that happen? And why do we struggle so much with managing our emotions? And why do we work with the idea that our emotions are this like antagonistic, opposing entity that is holding us back from, being more effective, more productive, and more successful in life, right? Okay. So the first thing that people don't realize in today's rationalized world is that emotions are a superpower. They're like the fuel engine that powers your entire system. And without the emotions, like you wouldn't be able to do anything. So what you would see is a person without emotions would have no reason to exist. They would not have the energy to get out of bed in the morning. They wouldn't feel motivated to do anything. And they'd feel absolutely crippled in every single situation. So a lot of the time, the reason why people struggle is because they have too few emotions, not too many, right? Now, how does that work? Well, first, imagine that you have this entire nervous system running through your entire body. And imagine that your emotions are spread out all over your body, right? So they're part of your entire system. A lot of the time people think their emotions are just in their head, right? But that's not how it works. Their emotions are in your entire body and in your entire being, right? So they're powering the entire, they're powering you, right? How we have to think about it is the problem with emotions is not that we're having them. The problem is we don't know how to effectively manage and use this energy when making decisions, when taking action, and when achieving different goals. And a lot of the time, if you don't know how to manage your emotions, they're going to cause you to do things you don't want to do, or they're going to get in the way of doing things that you know are important to do, right? So there's this recipe for emotional intelligence that I think all INFPs will have to learn. And the first comes from just recognizing that emotions are there, right? So every single person that is effective in managing emotions takes the time to acknowledge the fact that emotions are there, right? So if you're starting out from a position of denial or avoidance or pretending not to see or recognize emotions, you're already starting in the wrong end, because those that do not recognize emotions, those that do not take the time to recognize that they are having emotions, often end up with the feeling that their emotions are this outside entity that is pushing them to do things they don't want to do, right? So when you don't recognize the idea that your emotions are your own and that you are having emotions and that you are the person that is feeling these things, right? You get the idea that your emotions are an outside entity. So you have to first and foremost recognize that this is yours, right? It's your emotions, not anyone else's. It's your emotions, right, that you are having because of how you are reacting to a situation. Now, the second thing you might want to understand is that a lot of the time our emotions say everything about what it is that we want, right? So our emotions are there to inform our decisions and actions. So what we have to recognize is that whatever it is that we feel is usually because we have made a decision in our head about how we or what we want to do. And so a lot of the time people get into these situations where they don't recognize this chain of events. So people get this cycle completely wrong. They assume because they're starting to have these kinds of emotions, they're starting to make these bad decisions and to do these bad actions that they don't want to do. Actually, they would like to do something completely different, but their emotions are telling them the wrong things and getting them to do the wrong things, right? So this is this cycle that people imagine, but actually it's the other way around, right? So you have decided to look at a certain situation a certain way. You have set a certain goal in your head, and unconsciously, you've started to move towards something. And now your emotions are attaching themselves to everything that you do, right? Because emotions are sticky things. They attach themselves to everything that you experience, your thoughts, your body, your actions, but also to everyone else around you. So your emotional reactions to a situation, your sensitivity, the feeling of frustration when somebody is chewing their food, or the annoyance that you experience when you're dealing with somebody, or the feeling of, judgment or like dislike towards somebody, That says everything about what you have decided that you want to feel and what goals you have put for yourself. So you decided not to like somebody, and now your emotions are telling you that this is a dislikable person, and now everything that person does is frustrating, right? So a lot of the time, recognizing that helps you understand the chain of events. Understanding the thoughts that in your head and how they shape your emotions is vital to being able to recognize how you're making decisions and how your emotions fuel your decisions. Because now again, why are your emotions there? Well, they're there to make your decisions easier for you. So if you've decided to do something, your emotions are there to tell you and to make that decision easier for you. Think about it from the perspective of being socially anxious, for example. Now you might go to the situation where you're like, well, I don't necessarily want to. Think about it as if you're being socially anxious, right? So what does it mean to be socially anxious? Well, first of all, you have decided in your head, mentally, unconsciously, and this is the difficult thing for people to get. Like, we make unconscious decisions about things all the time. We decide, for example, that we are less worthwhile people. We're deciding that we are unimportant. We decide that we judge ourselves or that we are not good people. And then we go out and then we feel that everyone around us is judging us. Everyone around us is scrutinizing us. Everyone else is disliking us. But what we're not seeing is that chain of events, right? So you decided somehow, in some point in your life, you decided that you didn't matter and that you weren't a person worthy of being liked and appreciated. And now your emotions are attaching themselves to everything, telling you, oh, this person doesn't like you, this person is upset with you, this person thinks you're weird, and it's so annoying that these things are happening. And a lot of the time, it's natural that people don't feel a sense of control over the situation, right? Because a lot of the time, we don't recognize that we are not just the main characters in our story, but also the writers of our story, right? So understanding the writer level of your life, the author that is writing your script and telling you how to feel and what you do, that's very difficult because we get very attached to the main character mode. So we are very attached to the idea that we are a person that's having experiences and going into different situations, feeling different things, and we have no choice and no control of what we feel and what we're given and what we're thrown at us and what people tell us and what's happening around us because we're so stuck in main character mode. So we're seeing everything from first person perspective, right? But now, once again, let's talk about it from the perspective of what it means to be emotionally intelligent. Because imagine that somebody is emotionally gifted and well-developed. What just happens here? Well, first of all, we said that this person recognizes their emotions. They take time to acknowledge that they're having these emotions. Oh, I'm reacting to shame around other people. This must mean that and here they're starting to see this chain of events. This must mean that I'm somehow judging myself, right? I'm somehow unconsciously holding bad ideas about myself. I've made a goal to avoid these situations or to not go to parties or events or to not deal with these things that I've told myself are not good and that I should avoid to protect myself, right? And here, what emotionally intelligent people do is they recognize that they have a script, and everyone has a script. And after this, they choose how they want to act and how they want to adjust that script. That can mean, for example, journaling and writing your own story new, right? So here, a lot of the time, well, people don't know this about me, but I spend a lot of time doing aggressive levels of journaling, right? So I have thousands and thousands of documents. I'm writing every single day. I send voice messages to myself, narrating my stories, my experiences, my feelings, and everything that I'm experiencing, right? And why do I do it? And why do I think everyone should be doing this? Well, because first, it teaches you mindfulness, it teaches you awareness, and secondly, it allows you to rewrite your own stories. So here, what you can do, which is so powerful, is rewrite your own stories and rewrite your own script and challenge your ideas. Hold on, why do I think that? Hey, wait up a second, why do I believe that? Why do I think that? And so here, the most important part of emotional intelligence is being able to choose how to let emotions drive you, right? Because emotions are a positive thing, a superpower that can push you in the right direction. Here, what you have to do is you have to use emotions to push you in the right direction. You have to set positive goals, you have to write a good script and a story for yourself, and you have to let the emotions push you in that direction. And emotions can be used in so many ways. For example, anger can make you more creative, fear can make you plan more and think more ahead, anxiety can make you analyze things and think more critically about different situations, shame can help you revisit and think about your own image and how you feel about yourself. All these emotions are here for different reasons, to remind you of what it is that is important to you, what it is that you care about, what it is you want to achieve in life, what goals you have. And if you know your emotions and if you have your goals clear for you, you can use emotions to drive you to do anything more effectively. You can get out of bed in the morning with a smile, you can approach chores with enjoyment, you can talk to your partner with love, you can experience all these situations from a more positive angle. And you'll find, most importantly, and a lot of INFPs, they're highly sensitive people, right? That you'll find that you have more control over your sensitivity. No longer is your sensitivity this negative experience of life, this tendency to always feel icky and uncomfortable in every single situation. Instead, it's this ability to experience the nuances of life, the beautiful angles and aspects of everything that it is that you experience, right? At least that's what I think. What do you think? And how do you experience your emotions as an INFP? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video.